Hi, and welcome to Moonbeam Connections. I'm Jacqui-Leigh. Today on Shift Happens, Life in Transition, we're going to look at should I change jobs? Now, whenever I say should, I mean, is it in my highest and greatest good to change jobs? So we're going to be looking at that. I do set the intention that these messages find those who need them when they need them. So if this message did find you, it does mean it is meant for you. However, it doesn't mean that the entire message is meant for you. It just might be a portion of the messages. So we're going to look at well, that was quick. Should I be changing jobs? So let's see what Spirit has to say. Ooh, yes. Okay. This is the Queen of Cups, and this is about having compassion, being calm, having that intuition, being comforting, nurturing, emotionally stable, like you're a very emotionally stable. This is like, that perfect emotionally healthy mother type energy. That's what this is, very caring, very intuitive, very understanding, very compassionate. And so that's, anyways, but this card is saying that yes. So this is definitely in your highest and greatest good to be switching jobs. And I would say definitely for your emotional mentality, right? Like this isn't the Pentacles where, switching jobs is going to bring you more money or more stability or more, influence. This isn't, our, the swords where you're getting knowledge and those kind of things. This is the cups. So this is very emotional. So it's about your emotions. And so maybe you're in a job right now where, you're not getting along with coworkers, your boss is toxic, whatever it is. I'd say that for you emotionally, it is in your highest and greatest good to change jobs. So there we go. I mean, and this is a very strong yes card. So I would say that yes, this is in your highest and greatest good for you emotionally, for whatever reason, whether you're in a toxic environment or whether it would just help you expand emotionally. Definitely it's, for your own mentality, this is the best move is to change jobs. So let's look at some advice for this job change. Okay. So we're getting advice for this job change. Okay. So we have the Knight of Swords, which is charging forward, charging ahead. This is ambition, drive, moving, action. This is the fastest knight in the tarot, and you are moving forward. And so your advice is yes, move. I mean, and these are both yes cards too, right? Yes, move forward quickly. We're going to move quickly, but we're using our intellect. We're in the swords. So, you got to be careful because this can also be a card of like being reckless. So we need to ensure that as we are driving forward quickly, that we aren't actually being reckless. But this is saying, yes, follow that ambition, follow that drive, follow that movement, follow that path, right? We're moving forward, and it's going to be leading us to success, which is the Six of Wands, which is all about victory, recognition, success, things that you've done, you're now getting, people are seeing it, others are seeing what you've done, you're making progress. And so this is about moving forward in order to find that success, moving forward in order to progress. So this is all, this is all forward moving energy. This is all finding success, finding contentment, finding emotional happiness within this job change. So I'm not sure what your current situation is, but definitely it looks like it's not the greatest situation that you're in the moment. And Spirit is saying, charge forward to a different job, and you will find that success there. So now let's look at what's your next first step. So just what's the first step you should be looking to do? Now, obviously, if you're looking to switch jobs, your first step might be making up your resume, getting your, that's too much, getting your resume done and starting to put out those applications. Obviously, those are good first steps, but it might also be about, trying to figure out what industry you want to be in. Maybe you work with the public and that's what's so toxic. It's having to deal with the public all the time. And so you shouldn't be dealing with the public. You should be by yourself. Okay. And so we have the Nine of Wands, and this is about being resilient, setting up these boundaries, being persistent, having courage, having faith, standing your ground, standing up for what you believe in. So the person in this tarot card, they have made this, you can see a wall here of wands. And even though they're battered and bruised, like they've got bandages, they look tired, they're, they're just worn out, right? They've been through all these battles, they're worn out, they're just done, but they are still, even though worn out and feel done, they are making this boundary here, and they're standing and they're guarding. They're making sure that nobody is coming through that boundary. They're making sure that nobody crosses this boundary that they have created. And so that is your first step in this, is to create that boundary. So whatever that is within your working life, whether that's, standing up to colleagues, saying that I will, I won't be available after work. So, I'm at work, I'll be available for you, but my boundary is I'm not going to take any phone calls after work, or I'm not going to work overtime, or I am, I'm going to set up a boundary that, I don't allow this person to come into my office and talk to me. Obviously, with work things, you may have to deal with people that you don't necessarily want to, but then there's also all those work colleagues that, you don't have to have a conversation with all the time, that you just end up in conversation. So it may be that you set a boundary, maybe if it's a toxic environment with lots of gossiping, that when people start talking negatively about other people and gossiping, you immediately cut that off and you're like, I'm not a part of this. I'm going to walk away. But whatever that boundary is that you need to set, that needs to be your first step into this whole thing. So you're going to be, wherever you are currently, you're going to be setting up those boundaries. You're going to be guarding those boundaries fiercely, right? You may feel worn out. You may feel done. You may feel like this is an impossible situation, but you're going to set those boundaries wherever you are now. And that's going to be your boundary, and you're not going to give it up. And as you do that, you're going to be looking for that new job. And maybe this boundary has to be around parameters of a new job. So say you're working with public and you just can't handle working with the public all the time. It's too stressful. You're getting yelled at all the time. And so that boundary is, with my new job, I will not be working with the public. It'll be a job where I don't work with the public. Or, maybe there's a certain type of field, I'm working in this field that's very toxic, say bars. Okay. So I'm working at night in the bars, and it's, nothing but essays going on, and, drunken idiots causing fights and violence and all that kind of stuff. And so that line you're drawing is, you will not work in any establishment that serves alcohol, or you will not work somewhere where the doors stay open past 10 o'clock, right? Because that's when things start getting weird, is after that 10 o'clock mark. And so you're like, my next job, I will not be working past 10 o'clock. So whatever it is, find that boundary that you have, that I'm not going to work with the public anymore. I'm not going to work with these coworkers anymore. I'm not going to work in this industry anymore. Figure out what that boundary is. Be willing to stand up on that boundary as you charge forward to find that success that you're trying to find, to cultivate, to mold, to get. And so I think our next question. So this is your first step, is to set a boundary, and let's see what your second step will be. Actually, let's see what the second step to this will be. So you've set this boundary. So whether you're currently currently sitting in your old job, and then justice. Yeah. And then stand in truth, stand in fairness, stand in accountability, right? This is all about, you've done bad, you get bad. You've done good, you get good. Finding that clarity, finding that balance, cause and effect, the justice, the law. So this definitely could be pointing towards the next step, is to look within the justice system for that new career. Definitely could be that, if that's where you're inclined to go. I would say that this card is telling you, yeah, the justice system, right? We're setting up the boundaries and we're moving into a career within the justice system. But it can also be just standing within that justice, like being truthful as you're looking for a new job, looking for a job where things are fair, things are balanced, looking for a job where people are held to account, right? So maybe it's something where they track your progress, or they track, your sales, or they track whatever. And so there's accountability. People who are doing poorly will be recognized as doing poorly. People who are doing well will be recognized as doing well. So you want that job where the recognition, right? And this is about getting recognition. So, but this is about getting recognition for being successful. Justice can be getting recognition because you're unsuccessful, right? Getting those negative consequences for being unsuccessful, or getting those positive consequences for being unsuccessful. But looking for that career where those who do well in it are rewarded, and those who don't do well in it are not rewarded. So things are balanced and fair, rather than, you have some jobs, you have those people that just sort of float along, you're doing all the work, and then, like, say you have a boss that's really not doing anything, you do all this work, and then they go and they present it and they get all the credit of, look at what my team's doing, look at what's happening, but they're not really doing anything. They're just grabbing that credit, and that's not where we stand in justice. And so all this to say that, yes, this job is good. It's going to be emotionally better for you, whatever you're doing. This is definitely going to help your emotions. You're supposed to charge forward with it in confidence. Just be careful you're not being too reckless, but charge forward with confidence to find that success. And your first step is to set up this boundary. And then you're looking for either a career within the justice system, or we're looking for a career that is just, for a career where you do good, you get good, you do bad, you get bad. And that's where we're sitting with this. And today we're going to get you, an animal spirit. That was just popping out at me. So we are 11-11, wish. So I just saw 11-11. And so ones are all about, like, new beginnings, new starts, right? The beginning of a cycle. That's our aces, the opportunities coming in, right? So 1-1-1-1. That's what I saw on the clock. Let's shuffle this one more time, and let's get a spirit animal message for you today, please. Get a spirit animal message today. Okay. Independent. Okay, so we've got the cat, who is independent, and you are a natural healer. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. Okay, so make sure as we go through this, right, and this can be very intuitive too, right? This card is about intuition. So make sure as you go through this, as you're making this change, you're using your intuition and you're not just going along with the crowd, right? We're setting our boundaries. These are our boundaries. We're not just going along with people saying, no, you should do this because you make good money here, or you should do this because you will be happy here, right? Everybody has their own likes, their own dislikes, the things that they're good at, talents, skills, things that they're not so good at. And so you need to use your own intuition, your own skills, abilities, thoughts to discern how you're going to move forward and where you're going to go. And don't just follow the crowd. Don't just go with what everybody says you should do, or everybody says is the best thing to do, right? You will be supported along your journey as long as you're following your intuition and following the path that is meant for you, or the path that, you're following a path of your own choosing, rather than following just what other people are going to say. So maybe this is about being in a career where, like, you're a doctor and everybody say, be a doctor, you'll make good money and you'll get prestige and this is the right thing to do. And you're like, this is not fun. I don't like dealing with sick people all day. I don't like dealing with, people who aren't going to make it. I don't like dealing with having to tell family members people aren't going to make it. And it's just too much and it's too overwhelming. And so you'd be better off doing something like research, where there's not all that pressure, where you can just focus on finding cures for things, and you can help people that way rather than that direct contact. So just take it how it resonates with you, but just understand that in all of this, this move is good for you. Don't worry about what other people say, and just move forward with what you believe is best for you, irregardless of other people. And I'm going to get one last Moonology card for you today for this reading. Oh, that did not work. So let's see. Actually, and then I'm going to do one more thing for you. Actually, I just thought one more after this. So we're going to do Moonology card for you. Oh my. And then I have one more thing. So I'm going to get Moonology. Oh, wow. Today things are popping out quick. Okay, your dreams need a practical plan. full moon in Taurus. So full moon in Taurus, your dreams need a practical plan. So you have these dreams, you have these ideas of where you're going to go, set up that practical plan, set up that step by step, right? We're driving forward, but we're not being reckless. We have a plan. We know where we're driving to. We know what we're trying to accomplish. We know what our next step is. We know where we're headed. So make sure you have a practical plan, right? So it's not, oh, yes, it is in my highest and greatest good to quit this job. So I'm going in today and I'm quitting. Okay, well, where's your next job? How are you going to pay your mortgage? How are you going to buy food, right? We need a practical plan to move forward. And the practical plan is we don't quit this old job until we have a new job on the horizon, until we're at least being interviewed. But I would say until you have here, we want to hire you, can you start in 2 weeks? And that's when we quit the old job. This isn't about, just driving forward recklessly without even thinking about it. This is let's have our step-by-step plan. What steps do we need in place in order to make this leap to the next thing? And let me just see. What I wanted to do was get you a timing card. So I have a timing oracle deck, and we're just going to see when you would start this new job. So you can maybe get a time frame, right? Because this might not be, this is definitely not going to be tomorrow unless some miracle happens. This is going to be, a month from now, 3 months from now, 6 months from now, maybe even a year from now, right? We got to plan things out. We got to be practical. We got to take steps. And I think all the cards I've shuffled 4 times today, but I'm just talking and I forget. Okay, so let's see when you will begin. So like a first day of a new job. So when can you look forward to starting this new job, or this new job coming into your life or being offered to you? It's in the future. There you go. Oh, can't really see that because of the lighting, but it says it's in the future. So sometime in the future, you will start a new job. Let's see if we can get one more. It'll give us a little bit more clarity on that. But of course, this is for the collective, so it might be hard because some of you might be starting a new job within a month, and some of you might be starting a new job within a year. But let's see what the second one says. It fell on the floor. Just a second. Oh, and it's the right time to take action. Okay, so Spirit is not telling us an exact time frame. I didn't get like next week, 6 months from now, by March, that's not what came out here. What came out here is it's in the future. So it does seem right in the future, but it is in your future to switch jobs. So don't look at this as like, oh, it's just sometime. It is coming, right? We just maybe don't particularly know when. And of course, a lot of that is up to you. You can if I tell you, oh, it's coming in 1 month, but then you take no steps to ensure that it comes, you just sit back, oh, I'm going to get a new job in a month, so I'm just going to sit here and do nothing. You're not actually going to get the new job, right? If it says you're going to get a new job in a month and you put out resumes and you start doing interviews and you go to places and say, I'm available and I have these skills, and you start volunteering, then you would get that job in a month. So, but this is saying there is a new job for you in the future, and it's the right time to take action. So now is the time to start taking these first steps and start moving. So start getting your resume together, start putting out those resumes, maybe start going different places, things you're interested in. Go talk to people who are doing those jobs and find out what is it really like, right? Things from the outside can sometimes look really good, really cool, and then when you're actually in the middle of it, it's actually not as glamorous as you would say. Like even if we go back to the doctor example, oh, it can look so cool. I'm saving lives and I'm running around and stat and get me this and do that and code red and we're running around and look at all excitement and the fun and, everything that's going on. But when you're really in the middle of it, it's like, oh, there's a lot of blood and guts and gore and devastation and, people's lives being ruined. And so when you're right in the middle of it, you're like, you know what, this isn't really that glamorous. Like, yeah, I'm happy, when I save a life and do good, like that is rewarding. But there's also a lot of, gross things that kind of go around it, right? There's a lot of like devastation, a lot of gore, a lot of things that you don't want to deal with it also in there. And so really go talk to people that are in the field that you think you want to go into and see what is it really like day to day. Like, yeah, every job has some kind of, exciting point or moment or thing that happens, but on the day to day, it might be horrible, boring, nothing exciting. I don't want to do this job. It's just for those, once a year or twice a year where there is those exciting moments, but this job overall is just boring and sucks and is like being on an assembly line. So make sure you go out, start making that plan, start setting up those boundaries and putting your plans into place, figuring out where you want to go. Don't make the leap until you've got that next job or that next step you're taking. But it is the right time right now to start making those moves. Start getting everything together, start organizing, start planning so that in a month from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, you are in that new job and you are more emotionally satisfied, getting your victories and finding justice within your career. So I hope this message helped you today. I'm sending you peace, love, and happiness. Bye for now.